create the highest vision for your life. And this show is spectacular today in terms of being able to bring you to that if you just pay attention. Pull up a chair. I know right now children are running around the house that I know you know not to be thawing the chicken out, that you're thawing it in the microwave. Hit pause on that right now. Call your friends, tell them if they can't watch right now, you should really tape this, because this is really important. Important for you, and even more important if you could share this with your children. Because if there's one thing you should know, if you want to have a better, more meaningful, fulfilled, deeper, richer existence, it is this: that the world and everything in this world, that this physical reality that we are experiencing right now, operates under certain laws. Do y'all know that? And it supersedes everything. It is as real and as consistent as the scientific law of gravity or the physical law of cause and effect. And once you begin to understand how the world operates and how fair and just it really is, no matter where you are in your life right now, you then can begin to learn to be a more powerful person. So this little book, If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, explains 10 rules of universal wisdom. If you understand and follow them every day, every moment, which is hard to be in there every moment, I'm telling you, we're all struggling, you'll have a better life and better relationships in your life because you'll come to know yourself better. Dr. Cherie Carter Scott is the author of If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. Come on up here and have a seat. I'm telling you, thank you. Cherie, that is great to get a standing ovation. You haven't opened your mouth yet. How did you come up with these rules?
It was in 1974, and somebody turned to me. I was creating a course to teach people how to coach other people. And they said, you know, it would be so nice if we just had a handbook for living. Why don't we have some kind of rules for being human? And I said, that's it. We need the rules for being human. And they turned to me and they said, well, what are they? And I said, well, you start with a body. And they said, okay, and then where? And then all of a sudden, it was as if spirit inside me was speaking, and they came through onto the paper, and there they were, plain and simple. And I looked at them and I said, I don't know if I'm brilliant enough to create those, but I listened and I allowed it to come through me, and there they are.
Okay, rule number 1 is you will receive a body.
So who in this room received the perfect body and you know it was just the right one for you? No one? You know, that's the problem, because if we did get that body and we said, you know, thank you, that's the one I ordered and it's exactly the one I got, it would be a different world. But I bet if you look around this room, you see somebody else, you say, that's the body I should have gotten. No, that's the one I should have gotten. And you would trade, you do an exchange. But somehow that's not the way it is. We are given a body, and it's the one that we are meant to make peace with.
The rule is you're going to receive a body.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
That's how we're moving around in the body.
Yes.
And you may love it or hate it, but it is yours for the duration of your life on Earth.
Absolutely.
That's it. Okay.
It's the only one you got.
But yet the reason why so many people have their greatest pain and struggle in that body.
Absolutely.
Okay. Dinky says she's a perfect example of this rule. In what way, Dinky?
Oh, definitely. So much of our society looks at people by their body type and how they come across in their body. I suffer from gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. You know, just like a lot of people do.
None of us ever experienced that,
But
right?
I know I have every reason in the world to be happy.
Okay.
And I have this void within myself. And I don't know how to fill that void. I don't know how to get to the core.
Okay, now you want to do something with me?
Sure.
A little exercise real fast. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep, deep breath. And ask your body what it wants to say to you that you're not listening to. Deep breath. Just have it speak to you and say whatever the words are that you hear.
Respect me.
Respect me. What else?
I'm here for you.
I'm here for you. What else?
I do a lot for you.
I do a lot for you. And what else?
Take care of me.
Take care of me. Open your eyes. Do you hear it?
Yes.
It's speaking to you.
Yes.
What do you need to do differently in your life to honor those words from your body to you?
I need to respect my body.
What does that look like to you? What does it look like in daily life?
Oh, it's terrible.
No, it's wonderful. What does it
my
look like
body?
for you to respect your body? For
for
you
me to respect
it,
my body.
What are you going to do differently? Starting today.
Starting today,
Yeah.
I will dress it up when it wants to be dressed up.
Okay. What else?
I will constantly wear my smile that I always have anyway.
Yeah, those beautiful teeth.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
I will exercise it and nurture it and feed it. I think the nurturing thing is the big thing I haven't been doing
Okay,
because
so
I don't feel worthy.
What does the nurturing thing look like to you? What do you need to do to nurture this body, to care for it?
To do what the body wants
What
me
is
to
it?
do. Move, dance, move. I'm a machine. My body
What do you
is an
say to your
instrument.
body when it says, dance, move with me? What do you say to it?
Give me some music.
What music do you love? What sets your heart on fire?
Any music.
Anything.
Disco.
Okay, when are you going to start putting the music on?
Now?
You tell me.
As soon as I get home.
As soon as you get home? Okay, you're gonna do that? You're gonna start doing that?
Yes.
See, the key thing here is your body's talking to you. It's letting you know what it wants. It's letting you know how to care for it, but you're not listening.
Right.
You're closing an ear to it. You're saying, I'm too busy. I'm too busy with the kids. I'm too busy with the house. I'm too busy with things. I don't have time for you, body. Leave me alone. Right?
Right.
What you need to do right now is when that body tugs at your sleeve and it says, dance, nurture me, take care of me, respect me, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to honor your body because it won't get big on you if you're paying attention to it.
Right.
The reason your body gets big is because you're ignoring it and it's saying to you, I'm here, Dinky. And you're going, I wish you weren't.
Exactly.
Okay, so you need to pay attention to it and to honor it and to give it some time, but more than anything, you need to listen to what it's saying to you. And you're hearing it, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
That's pretty powerful. Rule number 2. So we got, you're gonna be given a body. That was rule number 1. You may or may not like it, but that's the one you got. You gotta deal with it. Okay, you're gonna be presented, this is lesson number 2. You will be presented with lessons.
What kinds of lessons have you come across in your life? Life lessons. Call them out.
Well, I think everything every day is a lesson. I'm always the first one up with my hand. I'm sorry.
The leader of the class.
This was a problem in the 3rd grade, too. Okay. First one. Okay,
gets the
somebody else gets a chance to
ahead.
speak. Go ahead.
I had a son who passed away, and we're still working on what our lessons are to learn from that.
Come here for 1 second. Okay, so take a deep breath. We got to breathe through this process. Now, this son that you lost, I want you to close your eyes and connect with your spirit as you're breathing, okay? Because spirit works on breath. And as you're listening, I want you to ask spirit, what do I need to learn that I haven't been willing to learn? Ask that question as you're breathing and say whatever comes up. What do I need to learn from this experience? What is this here to teach me? What is the gift?
Well, I don't know.
Go on, just say what's there.
It's like taking our children for granted and things like that.
Okay, so you, open your eyes. You are to appreciate every day that you're on this earth. You're to take nothing for granted, and you are to give thanks for your blessings.
Yes, we're working on that.
Okay.
It's really come through now.
Are you doing it
Yes,
today?
yes.
Right now, give thanks for 2 things.
I think for my family being together, the ones
Yes.
that are left.
Yes, and
And I'm thankful for just being here.
the gift of life.
Yes.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Rule number 3. There are no mistakes, only lessons.
And this is a tough one for a lot of people to get, especially people who tend to take themselves to task and say, see, you really blew it. You invested in that stock and watched the market go down. Or you put on those 10 pounds again. Or you married that person that's such a creep, or whatever.
The universe is an abundant place, just waiting for us all to see it that way.
Absolutely.
It is. Okay? Rule number 4. This is, I love this. Oh, dear God, people, please. Because if you can get this is going to be so big today. Lessons are repeated until they're learned. Lessons are repeated until they're learned. Repeat after me. Lessons are repeated until they're learned. Even if they come in a different pair of pants, even if they're wearing a blue shirt today, even if they're disguised as your boss or your mother-in-law or your ex-girlfriend, lessons are repeated until they're learned, and they just keep coming. And they just keep coming in different sizes and different outfits, different parts of the country.
Absolutely.
They're repeated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And until you get those lessons, they'll keep showing up. Now, what does it mean to get a lesson? It means to be able to embrace it and internalize it as if you really accept it. It's not as if you're still fighting it, resisting it, and hoping it will go away. You see, when you learn lessons, it's not like you're saying, okay, I learned the lesson, I'll never do that again.
Because you know what's gonna happen? The minute you say, I learned the lesson, the minute you say, I got that one, it will come in another direction wearing another pair of pants. That's what it does. And this is so cool. I think it does that. I think it does that because it's saying, recognize me? Remember me? Did you really get it? Did you really get it? Every single time it'll show up. So you have to be careful of what you say when you say, oh, I got that one, I got that one. Be sure it's coming back. Go ahead.
And it's all because it could be wearing another skirt.
Usually it is. Yeah.
The thing is that most people say, you know, I already handled my mother. I already dealt with my father. I already did this. You didn't do it until you got it done.
This is a question I always ask myself. I try not to get in crisis before asking it. But whenever any kind of difficulty comes into my life, a sense of anxiety, frustration, I immediately stop and ask it and myself, what are you here to teach me? And I do that whether it's a big old lesson or whether it's I lost my keys. It's all the same thing. What am I supposed to be learning? Oh, I need to slow down and focus. I need to slow down and focus. That's why I've now misplaced my wallet. And the minute you ask yourself that question, I tell you, then the wallet appears. You find it. You slow down and focus.
I've got two kids that, my daughter was 2, she got cancer. And we made it through all that. We filed bankruptcy, did all that. I had a son. He's got a heart condition. We've been through 3 open heart surgeries. Now I find out that he has something wrong with his brain, and now I'm dealing with all that again.
Now, I want you to stop for 1 second because I hear what you're saying, and I feel your pain.
Right.
And what I want you to do is close your eyes, and I want you to breathe deeply. And I want you to ask, what is the lesson I'm to learn?
That's what I want to know.
That's what I want you to listen.
I don't know what the lesson
You didn't do it, though.
You didn't
I
do
want
it
to close
because you're
your
scared.
eyes.
You're scared. You're scared. You're
Scared to hear. Breathe. You're not breathing right now. Breathe and ask the question, what is the lesson I am to learn from these experiences that I am being presented with? What is the lesson for me?
To be a stronger person.
Okay. You're getting stronger every time you deal with one of these adverse situations. What else?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's a good one.
Because I've been fighting with
Now,
it
wait 1 second.
every time something else
Okay,
comes
now
up.
wait 1 second. God does not give you challenges like this if you
That
are a
you
weakling.
can't handle it. That's what I've been
No,
told
it's
so many
true.
times.
It's true. And you know what? He's building you for something very important and something very big in your life that you're going to do. And you've got to realize that this is boot camp. This is.
This is a hell of a boot camp.
Yeah.
This is
I
boot
mean,
camp for you because you wouldn't be given this set of lessons unless you were up to the challenge.
That's what people keep telling me. But then I get to a point where I want to just give up. I can't be strong anymore because there's no one else there, you know.
I
But
know,
you're not alone. You're not alone.
You don't have to just be strong. You can let those feelings happen. You can let yourself feel that. And that's really important because those feelings are part of your truth. And you got to allow that and you got to let it out and you got to let it be. But you got to realize that you're one of the chosen ones that gets to go through big stuff. And when you come out through the pain, through the other side, that's when you can teach what you've learned.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Learning does not end. Rule number 5.
You know how you look over there and you see a person and you think, that's a perfect person? I mean, you could look at Oprah and say, she's the perfect person, she's got it all, and I'm over here and I don't have it together. You know, you look at those people, you never think that those people have their lessons to learn too. But everybody does. If you're in a body, there are lessons to be learned. Regardless of how beautiful, how important, how rich you are, there are always lessons to be learned.
Rule number 6 in Cherie's book, there is no better than here. Everybody always thinks that if I could only get to there, it would be better than here, but the here is inside yourself
Yes,
in order to make the there better.
It's the when I, then I. When I win the lottery, then I'll be happy. When I find the perfect mate, my soulmate, then I'll be happy. When I get the car that I want, then I'll be happy. But it's about being here with who you are and your circumstances and choosing to be happy and allowing yourself to go and grow to there, but not necessarily deferring your satisfaction or your gratification until you get to there.
Correct.
So,
I'm with you.
I know you are.
Okay.
And so it's that place where you know that if you're thinking your minds, what am I saying to myself when I, then I? What's your when I? Is it a job? Is it a relationship? Is it a health situation? Is it money? There's money. I see that money. Yeah. Okay. Is it getting out of school? I mean, it's when I X, then I will be happy, right? Be happier. So now who's got a when I, then I that you're stuck in? There you are. What is it? Come on, tell us. When I, then I what?
All I can say is, for those that are searching for that when I, is I've had it all. And I had the Volvo, and I had the husband and the 2 kids in the private school, and a nanny and a housekeeper, and
What happened?
and a 6-figure income. And I was absolutely miserable because I was like, when I get that job, or when I get a clean house, so I get a housekeeper. When I get help with the kids, so I get a nanny. I had all these things.
Yeah, you kept deferring it out there. You're happy.
Yeah, and I was absolutely miserable. I left the $100,000 job. I was miserable.
So now
And I just feel very free.
you're free because
But I found out that I was running from myself.
wonderful.
And that I was very, very angry. And I learned that anger can be your friend because I think it teaches you, it tells you when you're betraying yourself.
Ooh,
And
fabulous.
that's
Fabulous.
that's what I learned. I worked through a lot, but
That's
it was a
fabulous.
big
Are you
lesson.
living in the present now?
Yeah, I'm trying. It's very.
It's a daily process, isn't it?
It's very, very hard. It's a conscious decision.
Every
It
day
truly
you
is.
start choosing.
It truly is, isn't it? Every day.
It truly is,
It is a
yeah.
conscious choice.
Let me be here with where I am. This is where I am. This is where I choose to be. Thank you. That was great.
Rule number 7. The 10 rules for being human. Rule number 7 is a tough one to accept for a lot of people. Other people are only mirrors of yourself. Really hard, I know, when you're looking at somebody who's like raging in your face.
So when you have a judgment about another person, you need to look underneath the judgment at the feeling that's there. Because as you can project that judgment onto somebody else and say, they're so much this way or that way, whatever your judgment is, it actually is saying more about you as the judger than it is about the judged. It's actually telling you something about yourself that you're disowning and distancing yourself from and putting onto somebody else because it's too uncomfortable to accept that that's how you feel inside. The key thing that you need to do is when you have a judgment, and I know everybody in this room can come up with one judgment at this moment, and don't say it out loud, please. If you have that judgment about anything in this room, think to yourself, what's the feeling underneath the judgment that I don't want to feel? What is that feeling? And usually it's a sense of diminishment. In other words, what's your name? If I'm judging Lisa and I say to myself, boy, she's so pretty. I mean, look at her, she is so together. What gives her the right to be so together and so pretty? I have to look at my feeling under that, and my feeling is probably, I'm not good enough. I'm not as pretty.
That usually doesn't come in that form, though, because I get a lot of judgment from people. I get a lot of love from people, also get a lot of judgment. Usually, and I'm sure you do too, and women people do this to it. We do this to each other a lot, more so than men do. Who she thinks she is.
Yeah.
Who she thinks she is. Yeah. She must think she's somebody. I don't think she all that. That's how it comes out.
That's great.
No, it doesn't come out with she's so pretty. It comes out, she is not all of that.
That's great.
Right. What'd you want to say?
I hear a voice.
As soon as she said that people are mirrors of you, my
Yes.
red flag sort of went up because I tend to be an open person.
Yeah.
And people will try and steal the joy that you have for no apparent reason.
Who she thinks she is?
I know.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I try and really try and get to the bottom of it as an analogy and try and say, okay, well, what is this person's problem?
The key thing that you want to do, if you feel like you're being judged by other people who are trying to steal your joy, what you want to do is you want to open up your heart. And I know it's tough and you're
hard,
being
though,
judged. Of course, it's
especially when
terrible. You want to just, close down and become a crusty person and judge them back again?
Can I share something with you? For me, a lot of it, because I got a lot of it in the early years, because I was like 237 and Jerry curl, and nobody had ever seen anybody that looked like me be successful on television. So I got a lot of who she thinks she is. And what that was reflected back to me was the mirror from myself, to ask myself, did I feel that I have the right to be who I was, where I was? So sometimes that's it for yourself. Reflected back to you to say, do you really believe you have the right to own your own brilliance?
Exactly. Yeah, I do.
You do feel that?
I
Well, okay,
sometimes-
so this is all I'm saying, is if you really do feel that, then that question will no longer bother you. If you really do feel that, then that question becomes a moot point to you. When you really do feel it, because it used to bother me because I used to question myself like, well, maybe I really shouldn't have all this. I don't know, because, I got a weight problem and a this problem and that. So, but once I was able to own all of that for myself, it didn't matter to me what anybody said.
And maybe that's just their personal opinion.
That is just their opinion. That's all that is.
I was trying to figure it out.
No, that's all that is. 10 rules for life. Rule number 8, what you make of your life is up to you. What you make, oh my goodness. I'm telling you. Get this book for your children. Can't you see right now how great this would be for your children? You sit down and you guys talk about a rule every night. And this is what we should be teaching our children. What you make of your life is up to you. Fantastic. Rule number 8.
And every one of us in here has undergone some type of adversity that has made us stronger, that has made us more able to cope with situations. And it's the thing that allows us to see that, you have circumstances and you can argue for your limitations. Or you can look at it and say, this is what I have on my plate, and that's what I want, and build the bridge across to your future.
Rule number 9, this is so great for your children. Let me say it one more time. All the answers lie inside of you. All the answers lie inside of you.
Yeah, and when those kids start looking outside themselves and looking at, well, who should I be and what should I do and where should I go? And I ask them, I say, listen inside, listen to your heart. Listen to your truth. Listen to your messages, because those messages come loud and clear about who we are, about what we're to do, about where we're supposed to be, about the purpose of our life.
Rule, what? What'd you say?
Well, it's not, she said the messages are there, but I could hear 100. And I know I can't do all those things.
But you don't hear them all at once.
Sometimes it seems like they're all at once.
A great chorus.
I know, because you can't,
All right,
but
all right. So now listen, are the messages coming from here inside your head, or are the messages coming somewhere in your body?
both.
Okay, because the messages have 3 things. They're illogical, irrational, and unreasonable. They ask you to do something that's outside of your comfort zone. They stretch you into new shoes, and you always want to swat them away and say, not that, not that. I couldn't possibly do that one. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's those moments when you turn to yourself and you say, I knew I should have done it. I knew it at the time. Why didn't I listen? Those are the messages. They're subtle, and they're whispers from the soul. They're not from your mind. Okay?
Thank you. Sure.
Wait a minute, did you get that? I heard you I saw that little thing in your eye. Did you really get that?
You know, I get it to a point, but then it's like the other voice comes back.
And what does it say?
You should be a chiropractor.
Whose voice is that? That chiropractor. Whose voice is saying that?
Everybody around me.
Okay, well, that's not your spirit, sweetie. That's your peer group. Okay, there's a difference between the messages from your spirit and the messages from your peer group, okay? So that's what, if you don't, do you want to be a chiropractor?
No.
Okay. I want you to say the words. I do not want to be a chiropractor.
I do not want to be a chiropractor.
Okay,
I love them, though.
It's okay.
Keeping me angry.
Can you say to those friends when they tell you what you should be doing, can you say, I don't want to?
No.
You can't say that?
It's not because it's come up so much. I feel like when I say that, and then it's right there again. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, you're doubting yourself.
How could you possibly be wrong? Because you know more about you than anybody else ever will. How could you possibly be wrong? How could they possibly know more about you than you already know about yourself? How is that possible? It's not possible. It's not possible. And I say this, and I will say it many, many, many other times as we progress through the year. The noise of the world will drown out the voice of God, which is your intuition, your intuitive feelings, if you let it. So you have to be still and go inside yourself. And that, speaking of lessons, you can call that lesson number 11, rule number 11. Because that is what you're supposed to be getting. That's what you're supposed to be getting. Yada, 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 all around you, all outside, all that's external. When you listen to, as Cherie was saying, your feelings, not all that mind chatter and mindless chatter outside yourself. What do you feel? What do you feel in the deepest part of yourself? If you can get to that feeling, that's why we got to get her quiet for a moment so she can know what she feels.
It's scary. I mean, because
it's not scary. It's so glorious.
I know it's glorious, but when you're on just the other side of it.
No, what's scary is what you're doing right now.
No, that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
It really is.
I know. Don't you want to say, Cherie, to everybody who thinks it's scary, you feel that it's scary because that's where you're treading. You're treading on scary territory now. But when you silence yourself and go inside, you are the only one who has all the answers. And that is where true peace and glory lies. It's not scary at all. Everybody thinks it's scary. I'm telling you what you're doing right now. This is the scary part.
It's just hard to know how to listen to that part of you. For me, it is. I know you look like, you keep looking like I'm a Martian.
Listen. Okay, pay attention for a second.
No, because you were looking at her like she was a Martian when she was telling you that. That's why I stood you up again. Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to stop and be quiet because you can't hear, as Oprah was saying, when the world is crazy and noisy.
It can get so noisy, especially around here. I run a whole studio and there's 180 people and everybody wants something. It can get so, I have gone into the closet and just shut the door and sat there in the closet for 5 minutes to get alone with myself so I can really hear what's going on, not what 180 other people are asking of me or what they're saying. Go in the closet. Okay? Of yourself. Okay. Rule number 10. You will forget all of this at birth.
Yes.
Why?
So, if remembering and forgetting are the dance of consciousness. If you remembered all the time, there wouldn't be any challenge. And if you forgot all the time, there would be no game. So it's the dance between remembering and forgetting, which is what we're doing here with these lessons.
And if life is a game, then these are the rules.
Yes.
Right. That's the name of the book.
Yes.
We're buying for our children. You forget all of this at birth, except I've seen it in other people's children. Little kids have it.
Yes, they do.
Little kids have it.
Absolutely.
And then somehow we scold it out of them, or
Yeah.
if not scold, it's kind of bred out of them.
Usually around 2 years old, we teach them not to want anything. That's around the time, and then they learn to say, well, what should I do, and how should I be, and what do you think? And then we tell them, you should be a chiropractor. And they say, oh, okay. And then they say, but I don't want to be a chiropractor. And then we had this schism between what I should be because they told me and what I want to be inside. And then I'm afraid to look and listen because I'll have to do it if I find out my own truth. And that is the end of childhood. It's called the end of not knowing for myself. And see, the crazy
Because
thing,
up to a point you do know.
absolutely.
But
we
then
all
your
do.
parents are telling you you don't know.
Yes, you don't know. I'm older and I'm wiser and I know better. So listen to me because I'll tell you the way it's supposed to be.
I want to thank Dr. Cherie Carter-Scott for writing her book, If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, because it's a cute little book and simple enough with the most powerful lessons that even a child can understand.
And it opens up conversations between people so that they can start talking about their lessons.